Today I'd like to talk about how we as students of Hashem should operate. And since we're students, there are certain things that should be done in a certain manner. So I was told by my teacher that there are parables. These are little stories that help us to discuss what it is we do. One of the examples is to gather wheat. To gather up bundles of wheat is written in the scriptures. And wheat is the 22 letters. So in essence, when one is sitting and listening to the words of the sages, a student should be prepared and have notes. You should have a pen and some kind of paper. And it can be anything. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have on hand is what's available. Outstanding. Sometimes they're very simple books. Little notebook with lines will work. But understand that that bundle of wheat now gets re-examined. And this can be in any notebook. It could be in one place or two. It doesn't matter. This is just some examples I have to show you. So we re-examine these notes. We go back over these notes. What was said. And it can be interesting things. We go back over these notes. This is called chewing the cud. Because we don't just look at the notes, do it one time, but we actually examine the notes. And what we do is we take time and we add water. That's what water is. Waters of time. So we take these notes, we add some time to it while we're chewing the cud, and we create dough. And dough is something like this here is an example of Tikkun book. This is very simple stuff. Just some basic notes that were written. Took a minute. You see a little bit of time was put in the circle making, just to give an example that I was thinking about what I was learning or what I had taken from the notes previous. And these are not all from the same lesson, obviously. But you can see the simplicity of now we have some dough. Once we have a Tikkun book, you can't teach out of this. This is an example of longer note taking. There's a lot of things in here. And some of it's going to be scrambled. Let's see here. It's difficult to make sense out of some of that stuff. So this is the place where it's taking place, where there's a transition between our notes. And again, your work is important. So make it as best you can. Even though you can buy something cheap, if you can put something into it, it's worth it. And at the end, we should bake bread. And so this is an example of a tikkun, a final product to help someone else see what's been shown by the sages, and the Holy One Blessed be He, His work, literally. The art of the Holy One Blessed be He is on display for people to see and work with and learn from. And so the reason I mention these things is because we don't want to be like just a servant in the field gathering. They just gather bundles of wheat and do nothing else with it. And we don't want to be just a sheep chewing the cud, going over the verses and reading the scriptures, because we're not doing anything with that. We want to reach the place of the high priest at least. Yeah? The high priest creates dough. He puts together the aleph, that's the incense, the mem, which is the shewbread, and the shin, the menorah. He works those things together and creates the holy bread, the shewbread. And he serves in the Holy of Holies. And he makes something for someone else. But even higher than the high priest is the son, who might just show up with some baked bread for his daddy. All glory to Hashem. Thank you for taking a minute to talk about God and think about how we can learn from Him and make something for Him and for others around us. Baruch